All right, how y'all doing? I just wanted to make a quick video on my thoughts that I've been having over the past couple days about our auric fields and what they're really capable of. I find it really important that in this time that we got going on right now that we need to start making more videos about this. Just so everybody that has a spiritual awakening or spiritual knowledge come to them, we need to start making videos, just putting stuff out there, our thoughts to awaken others, inspire others, and all that sorts of stuff. But I've been having some thoughts over the past couple of days about our auras and what they actually are and what they can be used for. Every religious system has a way of depicting your aura, whether it's just the halo around your head, or it's a whole field, or it's a field around you with multicolors, or it's a field around you with different uh, uh, chi points within it, like it's a mini galaxy or something like that. There's a whole bunch of ways of depicting what your auric field looks like, and there's a whole bunch of ways where how people see your auric field, uh, where they see just a slight color around you, or they see the whole spectrum field, they see different objects in it or orbs around you, something like that. And it hit me that it's not that any of these things are particularly wrong. A lot of us in this world see things as right and wrong. Oh, it's this way. Oh, no, it's this way. No, it's all of these things, because like dimensions were explained to me. If you're seeing from a two-dimensional standpoint and you're trying to see a three-dimensional object, you can only see two-dimensional slides of that object. So you would never see the whole picture. You would only see different points as it passes through your dimension, because it can't all fit into your dimension. So auric fields are multi-dimensional, four-dimensional fields. So you're only going to be able to see the slides of that field that you're vibrating on the same wavelength as. So you won't be able to see the whole auric field, or maybe you would, but it depends on what you're vibrating at. So most people vibrating on different levels will be able to see different points of the auric field as it passes through this dimension, or fluctuates within this dimension, I should say. But I was thinking of how your auric field is supposed to operate and how it's supposed to be used, taking that into consideration, because most people think, oh, it's just showing your emotions or something along those lines, just showing how the mental standpoint of the person is, and it's basically like taking one to two strings out of a tapestry and going, oh, I know the pattern. Like, no, you don't. But accepting that there's way more going on than you can see with your spiritual eye, and taking all these spiritual systems, all the videos you see on YouTube or something like that into consideration about how people see auras and what's in the auric field, it paints a more cohesive picture of how it is. And knowing how it is, now you can, extrapolate, couldn't think of another word other than that, what uses it can have or what you can do with it. So most people will use their auric field for, to tell what chakras they need to work on, or to heal someone, or to protect themselves, or something along those lines. But that's kind of only scratching the surface of what it's really capable of. You take all the spiritual systems in consideration when you're talking about auras, and you can do some pretty wild stuff. So one of the ways that I kind of widen my horizons when it comes to understanding some things is using fiction, because I wholeheartedly believe that when you look at a movie or an anime or a cartoon or something like that that's talking about spiritual system, it's the person who's writing it, or a book, or it's the person who's writing it or drawing it, whatever, is tapping into the other side. It's tapping into that spiritual side that is one with everything, and taking that information and presenting it to everyone. So there's a bit of truth in everything. They might, go off, take artistic license when it comes to some things, but I wholeheartedly believe that a lot of it is staked in how the universe actually operates, and they're, whether willingly or not, explaining how these things operate. And I will focus on just one of the ways that you can use your aura today, because I was reading a Star Wars book. um, Dang, I'm trying to remember what the name of it is, because I just think of it as the Plagueis book, but Darth Plagueis the Wise. I don't know if that's really the title of it, but it's the book where Plagueis is raising Palpatine to take over. So I was reading that, and well, I was listening to its audiobook, but I was listening to that and how it explains how the dark side of the Force is used, and it hit me. I was like, oh, okay, like I get it. Like there's a reason why uh, the dark side Force users are more powerful than the light side. And if you're a Star Wars buff, you can comment on this video and debate me on that one. But we can have a little conversation. It'll be fun. But how the dark side Force users are not afraid of their emotions and how they manage their emotions. How instead of giving in, like it's seen by the Jedi, like, oh, they're giving into their emotions, they're just uncontrolled beasts. I'm like, no, they're not. They're pretty intelligent and real sneaky, and you can't be controlled by your emotions and do that. Someone who's controlled by their emotions is not thinking logically, and they think really logically. So where this wraps back around to aura is, your aura is a depiction of your emotional and your spiritual, your vibrational, where you're at, basically. So if someone says something to you and it affects you in a certain way, your auric field changes. Your auric field might go down, it might go up. That person might be taking energy away from you or anything like that. So to control your aura better, control your internal energy better, you need your willpower and your emotions to be real airtight. You need your mind to be set on what you want to achieve. Don't let anything control you. Don't let someone else control your emotions, so that you're following your emotions instead of your emotions following your own will. You have to control yourself. You have to guide it the way you want to. So as far as, going back to Star Wars, as far as the dark side of the Force is concerned, they always say that the Force has to be broken and made a beast of burden. Your emotional self has to be broken and made to serve your will, not the other way around. That's like the tail wagging the dog. You need to wag the tail. So if something comes along and it makes you angry, in your mind, you need to not focus on your anger. You need to distance yourself from that. You need to look at it without judgment, without regret, without any negative emotions, and accept it for what it is. Accept that you're angry. Accept that you feel regret. Accept that you feel remorse, that you shouldn't have done that you hurt somebody, that you said something you shouldn't have, that you love somebody, that you're extremely happy. Accept the emotions for what they are when they come up, and then use your mental fortitude, your willpower, to guide them into what you want to achieve. You're happy. You can be overjoyed and just let it all out, and you just want to hug the world and everything like that. If you wanted to use your energy for something better, like, okay, take this happiness and put it towards something that will elevate me in the future. Put it into manifesting something. Put it into manifesting something that's even greater and bringing even greater happiness, because the way your auric field is vibrating at that point in time is very high, very light. You can focus that energy with your mind and manifest something even better, or heal yourself, or to clear the space around you with sheer happiness. You can focus your mind to invoke an emotion, whether you want to be angry, whether you want to feel sad. I don't know why you would, but you can do that. Whether you want to feel joy, love, all that good stuff. Use your mind to evoke that emotion, to stir that energy up, to get your auric field to follow the path that you would like it to take. And then use that energy in whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to manifest, whatever you're trying to create, bless, anything. The world is your oyster when it comes to that. I find it one of the things that I was thinking about is, I find it odd that I'm just gonna say Star Wars because I was on that kick. But in Star Wars, they always dissuade people from thinking about the dark side of the Force as something that's can be used good by always rooting it in anger and fear and negative emotions when that's not the case. Usually, like, they fuel themselves with their anger and everything like that, but you can literally fuel yourself with anything. You don't have to just have it be anger. It's all about your mental and how about you focus on using it. I had wrote some things down, so I'm trying to stay on track and not ramble. You can really use your mind to transmute that energy into anything. You might feel angry at a time, but you can, by keeping your mind separated from that, not letting your mind go into denial, go down a thought spiral into a pointless thing that directs your energy in a circle, so you can't get out of it. Separate yourself from that. Accept it. Accept all the things that are going on with you, and then you can transmute anger into something else. You can transmute fear into something else. You can transform that energy into whatever you want. Your auric field, your emotional field is more diverse and more expansive than you could possibly imagine. So you can do absolutely anything with it. Don't bottle yourself into a corner and think, oh, I'm sad and I need to find something in the world to make me happy. Oh, I'll never be loved, or I'll never do this, or I'll never do that. You are way more powerful than you think you are. You have to use what you have. You have to use your mind, use your willpower to guide your strength to where it belongs, where it can do the most good for you. It's like being a bodybuilder and you got all these muscles, and then someone comes up and just pushes you and like, oh, woe is me, I don't know what to do, he's just abusing me, someone please help me. And people are looking at you like, what's wrong with you? You're like 10 times bigger than him. Get up. You're mentally weak. Everyone around you is so much more powerful than you think, and you are too. You are so much more powerful than you think. You think that the people out here manifesting things, and you see all these videos of people talking about how easy it is to manifest, and you're like, oh, it's not that easy, blah, blah, blah. If you think it's not, it isn't. Your energy follows your will. Everything in your life follows your willpower. And what path you walk is what your will is directing you to go down. Not going to say that adversity isn't going to come at you from outside of you. Not going to say that at all. Like, oh, if I just think good thoughts, then good things will happen to me. That is not what I'm saying at all. You have to be tenacious. You have to be driven. You have to have that willpower to create it. Just because, that's like you having a trumpet and you blow into it like once and you're expecting beautiful music to come out the other half and it's like, brr. That's all you're going to have. You need to really focus and direct what you want to do. Like, oh, I blew on it and then music didn't come out. Just was this random sound. Like, yeah, you need to keep trying and you need to keep doing it. And you need to think of ways. You need to freak it this way, flip it this way. I'm going to put my money over here and I'm going to invest it over here and I'm going to do this. And then all of a sudden, bam, 5 years, 3 years, 10 years down the line, you got $1 million. And you just kept working at it, made your energy follow your will. And then the world started going along with that, because another thing about your auric field, it's not separate from the world. It's not separate from the rest of the universe. Everything is connected. Everything is a collective. So the more is like having a cup of water and saying that, oh, this is separate from the ocean. It is not. They are the same thing. You need to have your energy vibrating and flowing in a certain way, and the universe will respond and flow with you. It will support you in whatever you do. If you think you're crap, then it will support you in being that. If you think you're the best person in the world, it supports you in that. But it also, don't be too naive about that. It's way more technical than you would think, or everyone would do it. There wouldn't be mystery schools where they teach it. Wouldn't be secret societies or Masons or whatever that teach exactly how to manifest and how to work this system, this energy. There wouldn't be all this sorts of stuff out here that these schools that teach this. If it was just, oh, I'm just gonna put my energy towards being happy and I'm going to be happy and taken care of. Everything's going to be great. No, it is way more technical than you think it is. But you're also capable of making it happen. Don't ever think you're not capable of making this happen for you. Back to aura. So using your auric field, your emotional field to your benefit, using it to manifest whatever you want, using it to protect yourself, your spiritual body, using it to connect to nature, using it to meditate and connect to your ancestors, using it to make the space around you vibrate at a certain frequency so that you can make a space sacred. You can bless things like your water. Like if you have a thing of water, you put your hand on it and use your mind to generate the feeling. What does something that's pure and loving feel like? And stir that emotion in yourself. And as you stir that emotion in yourself, use your imagination, because your willpower is focusing it. Your imagination is guiding the pathway of how you want it to take. So imagine that feeling and that energy flowing from your heart space where you feel it, or wherever you feel it in here, to your hand that's holding the water. And just let it be. Just guide it down there. And you can either put some affirmations and tint on it. It can, like I said, it can get as technical as you want it. So, just the feeling of love and just being energized, being refreshed, healing yourself. Say those words and feel that feeling that goes along with that. And then mentally, get an idea of that, and then guide that feeling down to your hand and infuse it in the water. And it's as simple as that. Now, you can look at that from the outside and be like, oh, nothing happened. One thing I've learned while on the spiritual journey is never look at the physical world and be like, why is nothing happening? That's not the point of this. You're not going to see it happen. Like, my phone is sending out a signal to a satellite somewhere and I can't see it, but I see the effects that are happening on my phone. Think of this as the phone. The energy is going out of here, it's going into here, and no one can see it unless you're vibrating on that frequency to see it. But if you're not vibrating on a frequency, you're not going to see it. But you can feel the effects. You can close your eyes and you can sense the effects. It's like seeing it on the screen. Meditating on your third eye is like seeing the screen of your spirit and going, okay, so this app is going on right here, and I can move this over here and do this there, and just trying to bring this into understanding for anybody who's just getting started in spirituality. Most people that have been meditating and imagining and doing visualization training for a while have pretty much gotten this concept down. But the things you can do with energy with your auric field are really limitless. It is only limited by the limits you put on yourself. The energy that crystals give off, being able to infer with that, controlling the self and bringing that self and that willpower, that directed energy into the world to cause an effect that can bring things back to you to help you in your journey. Surrounding yourself with stuff that helps you, like a copper ring or moldavite or a copper container for your water that you dropped like 10 times so it's all dented in. Things like that. So that's all I got right now. Feel free to play around with your energy. Feel free to play around with your aura. Do whatever you want. What does fire feel like? What does lightning feel like? How does it feel to move the earth? How does it feel to move the water? Talking some avatars type stuff. How does it feel to psychically connect to somebody? what's that feel like, and your energy will start vibrating on that. And the closer you get to the actual vibration that happens at, the more you'll be able to do it and the easier it will come. To me, most of the times when I'm practicing something, I practice it, and then I go to sleep and I wake up, I sleep on overnight and I wake up and it just comes easier and easier and easier as time goes on. So I don't know how it is for you. That's how it is for me. That's all I got for today. Please, if someone sees this video, any of you see this video and you want to comment, let me know. If you want to ask a question about anything I talked about, let me know. And that's all I got.